All right, welcome back, everybody. We are going to take a look at the server side of the pair of programs that are sending messages across a network, and the server side is going to be a little bit more complicated and just kind of different. And again, we're not really using it as a true server. It's not going to be a hub of many connections coming in. It's just going to be the other walkie-talkie, if you will, the other phone in a two-phone conversation. And later on in the course, you might get into more advanced uses of servers. So we're going to take a look at the server program, and it is going to have the same import statement. Instead of saying my client's going to have a server object, and we're going to name it my server, and it will sort of serve the same purposes, although not quite. It's a little bit complicated, but it'll be like a similar type of thing. You're going to be referencing my server quite a bit in here to send messages and receive messages, although it's a bit more complicated for that. And then again, we have an incoming string, just like in our previous example. In fact, we'll look over at in a fourth video what's the similarities here. So the incoming string, again, just like the previous program, we're going to set it to nothing, the empty string, to initialize it. And so that's the story there. And then, hey, look at this. The my server instantiation step is a little bit simpler. We don't have to specify the IP address. That's because the server is the thing that you're connecting to. So it doesn't need to know its IP address. It's only things you're connecting. If you're a client connecting to a server, you need to know where is that server. But the server just sits there waiting to receive connections. So it doesn't need to know the client's IP, for example. It's a different kind of thing. It does have a port number though, and that port number is really important. And please know that the port number must match the port number in the client. So I'll just switch over here and notice, oh look, it's 1234 on this side, and it's 1234 on this side. So just use the same number. And again, 1234 not going to be in use. Go ahead and use that one, and you'll be fine. If you really want to be sure, go 1234 5. That one's not in use, guaranteed. So we are basically done our setup. That's the main part of the setup. Let's take a look and see now how, as a server, you can check for messages, receive messages, and send messages. So in the draw function, here we are. Similar sort of thing. Oh dear, I was just so boring. I'm making myself fall asleep. Need more coffee. Please send coffee. Just kidding. So here we go. Basically, for our draw function, we're going to clear the background, and then we're going to put in some white text as a black background to make them visually distinct from the client. And we're just printing that incoming string. And at the beginning of the program, you won't see anything because it's an empty string. Now, here's how you read messages. It's a little bit different because remember, servers are technically set up to receive many connections. So it'll be a little bit messier. But basically, we have, similar to the client, we have this available function. And it tells us not how many messages are incoming. It just tells us what client is trying to talk to us. And we actually make a client variable over here on this side. So we actually capture a copy of the client that is going on over here. So we create this client, and guess what? We're doing this constantly, over and over again. And when there's no messages coming in, this returns a null pointer. It's like, nope, I got nothing, so this becomes null. And that's why you say if my client is not null. If it's null, it's just not going to do this stuff. As soon as it becomes an actual client, when it really truly receives a message, then we can read it. So if it's not null, then we actually go and do it. And notice that the read string is technically coming from the client. And I'm not sure why I put lowercase c here. I feel that's kind of against the whole spirit of the camel case. So that's cool. I'm trying to remember. My son made a character recently in a story, and his name was Camel Case. Was his last name, and I was just blown away. I thought that was the best name ever. I wish I could remember his first name. It was something ridiculously good. Anyways, this is the. I gotta stop talking randomly. So this is how we get our string. It's sort of a two-part process. We first find the client that's available, and right now it's just going to be at one client. And then from there, if that's not null, that means we received a message. So then we can read the message. So it's a bit more convoluted on the server side, but basically it's reading a message is done here, and the looking for messages, seeing if messages are available is here. And then check it out. Here's our sending messages, very similar. It's the write method. So I'm going to be able to, from the server, write a message, and that'll get sent to, technically it gets sent to all the clients. So if you wanted to send only to a specific client, that's another story, but this will write to all the connected clients. And we only have one client, so effectively it's sending that message back to the other side. So that's the server. It looks pretty similar, and we'll go over in a fourth video, the similarities. I'll move this back in here, and we'll just kind of go over the similarities one at a time. Okay, we'll see you in a hot second. How do I turn this off? Got it. Done. Boom.